What's up, my YouTube page? Today is Monday, June 20, 2022. It's 2:29 in the afternoon, and I just wanted to make this video real quick just to vent this story out a little bit so I could feel better, of course, and also just because it's a fucking, it's just a theme of today's world. This story, my story of what happened last night, yesterday, as I was working at Chick-fil-A. I was walking from the inside of Target to go back to work at Chick-fil-A, the Chick-fil-A parking lot, because they're closed on Sundays. So we go to work, and I have to go to the restroom at Target. I can't go at Chick-fil-A, obviously, because it's locked. So on the way back from one of those trips, the last trip, obviously, I heard a woman screaming and some children crying. And I saw like people looking, like there was, people just focused on a moment between a mother and her two daughters, or daughter and son. I'm not sure if the baby was he was about, or she was about 4, maybe not even, probably like 3. She was little. And the other little girl, I don't know, she looked about 4. She looked about 8, but she could have been older because she was so like emaciated looking, and so anyways, basically when I looked, I saw the woman was like putting the older kid in hold on, let me go see what she wants real quick. She's not gonna stop. Oh, it's Jerry. Need Marco? Oh, can you hurry up? Alright, sorry, they were just talking. I thought it was Diana. She always does that when she needs help. And I didn't know if Marco heard or not. But anyways, she looked like she was about probably like 11 at least, maybe 10. Like she could have been, like, from the way she was talking, and when I saw her face close up. But from far away, she looked about probably 7 or 8, just because how skinny she was. And anyway, so the baby was the mom had put the 8-year-old or 12-year-old in which was a girl. She put her into the cart aggressively, like as she was yelling at her. She grabbed her and like threw her in, and the little girl didn't have shoes on. I didn't know that at the time. I found that out later. But throwing her in like that without shoes is even more like harmful to her. And then she turns around to get something from the car. She's still like bitching the whole time. And then as she turns around, the younger child starts to slap the older one, like smacking her around. And the little girl, she starts yelling and crying, and puts her hands up too. And when the mom turned around, she saw her like that and just started smacking the older one right away, like, hitting her all hard. And I was like, what's your problem? Like, hey, why are you hitting her for? Your other child hit her first. Why are you hitting her? Because they were both fucking like smacking on her at the same time. Because she was letting the other child still continue to hit her as she was hitting her too. So I was like, what the fuck? And people were looking, not saying anything, of course. Which is another thing that gets me fucking riled up in those moments. But anyways, I was holding my temper. I wanted to start telling her off right away, like using cuss words, like, what the fuck, bitch, and shit like that. But I didn't at first. I was like, why are you doing that? And I started telling her, and so she starts trying to explain it to me. Oh, it's because she's autistic. Es autistic, she was saying in Spanish. Es autistic. And I was like, so? Like, just because your child's autistic doesn't mean that they have a pass to fucking slap whoever the fuck they want, much less their own sibling. Like, you're gonna let that kind of energy just go around your house. Like, I mean, I didn't tell her all that, but I was like, that doesn't matter that he's autistic or she's autistic. That doesn't fucking matter. Like, that's not what autism is. I mean, I know some kids that are autistic have violent tendencies, but that's also reciprocated or learned from family behaviors as well. You know, whether families want to admit it or not, they're violent in some way, aggressive in some way, and you know, autistic kids tend to like just up the threshold on that. And you know, not that it makes it right, and we shouldn't give them a pass, like to just fucking do that and make them think it's okay, because that child obviously thought she was doing nothing wrong, like the way she was smacking her. And then she, even when I started telling the mom stuff, like the child, she had a huge scratch on her head too. The little girl, she probably hits her too, but she put her fists like up to me like this, like she was trying to be aggressive with me, little 4-year-old. I was like, oh my god, dude, like, wow, like really, like, but she, of course, the mom's just like talking or trying to explain at that time, you know, that it was her autism or whatever. And I was like, that doesn't matter. And she was just thinking so much she was in the right, like that's was okay for her other older child to get hit and smacked on because her younger child was autistic. And I was like, that's not okay. Like, and I started like getting mad because obviously I was the only one speaking up to her, and then she starts with that bullshit and she's like trying to like throw it at me like, no, I'm right. And I was like, this bitch, like, and I called her a stupid bitch, like, at the end of it. So I know that pissed her off more, like, when I said that. But I was just like, whatever. I was already planning on walking away at that point. So I was like, whatever, you stupid bitch. And I just turned around and walked away. Because I couldn't, I told myself, don't hit her. Like, don't get physical. Don't do it. Just go to work. Go to work. And, but I wanted to tell her something, you know. I wanted to put her in her spot, like, of wrong that she was doing. And so I you know, said that and walked off. But then she started pinches talking all ghetto. Of course, now that my ghetto came out, she brought her ghetto out. And I was like, oh really, bitch? Like, and I turned around and started saying shit back to her. I was like, you fucking lucky your kids are there. I should beat the fuck out of you right now. Like, if your kids weren't there, like, well, none of that would have happened, obviously. But I was just like, you're lucky your kids are there. And then I started walking off, and when I said that, she was like, mira. And like, I turned around and looked, and she literally fucking smacked. At this point, the kids were not fighting anymore. They were just staring, like, because I started yelling like loud at her, like, you're the fucking problem, bitch. It's not your kid, it's you. It's fucking you. Like, when we started telling stuff to each other before I turned to walk away another time, because I was already kind of far from her at that point. And then she said that, like, mira, and I looked, and she fucking smacked her kid again, the same one she was hitting, just deliberately, just to spite me. The child wasn't even doing anything anymore. Like, she wasn't, you know, fighting with anybody anymore. She was just quiet, just looking. They both actually were very quiet and just like, just staring in fear. Like, they were kind of scared because I started yelling really ugly. And then when she did that, I lost it. I was already losing my temper. I mean, I was raising my voice extensively, you know, and I just walked toward her. I was like, really, you fucking bitch? And I just punched her in the face, like right here, just fucking knocked her. I still have a little bit of her lipstick on my fucking knuckle right there, because it's deep in the skin cells, and I haven't really focused on washing that area of my hand too much, because it actually kind of brings me slight sense of relief after everything that happened to me, because I ended up being the one getting arrested, even though after I punched her, I stopped, because I saw that at that point the girls started crying, like they got scared. They saw I was serious, like, I'm not fucking around. You better fucking shut the fuck up and stop that shit, you bitch. And they looked at me like all scared, you know, because I'm hitting their mom, of course. Like, you know, whether or not she's a piece of shit mother is irrelevant to the fact that they love her and that's their mother. So I stopped hitting her. I wanted to. I had that feeling in me so bad, like within all of my cells in my body, burning to just keep going at her. Because when I punched her, she didn't even do anything. I could have jumped on her there, like, she kept going and beat the fuck out of her. Like, she was like surprised, like, that I did it. She didn't think I would, I guess. And then she just, like, because she had glasses on, and she just like, you punched me. I don't know what the fuck she said. Me pegaste. Like, she just fixed her glasses, and when I saw, you know, the kids, I stopped paying attention to her and was like looking at the kids, and I just started backing up, and she started like getting like she was gonna come at me. I was like, look at your kids, look at how you're making your kids, like with how you're acting. And then she wasn't listening at that point anymore, and she didn't give a fuck about her kids, like, and what they were doing at that point. She was just intent on revenge with me. So I backed off. She tried to come at me. I backed off, and then some other lady, one of the other witnesses, came into the picture and started like getting between us. She was like, look, it's not worth it, it's not worth it, because I was still telling her, I'm gonna call the cops on you, like, you're fucking, like, you don't deserve to have those kids, like. And when I said that, the little girl that was getting beat started screaming, no, please, don't call them, no, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Like, she already has been through this before. And I was like, wow. I was like, and the little girl jumped off because I had picked up because when all that was happening, she ended up grabbing her tablet, or I think that was before, actually. She grabbed the tablet, and she threw it at me, but I dodged and it missed. And then that's when the lady came between us and was like telling me, you know, to walk away, basically, and it's not worth it. And she's like, I know, I saw it, and she's horrible, but it's not worth it. And I was like, it is fucking worth it. Like, just seeing the kid, like, how she was, like, it's worth it. And then as I was talking to that lady, the other fucking bitch mom grabbed the tablet again, and this was her child's tablet, mind you. This wasn't even hers, like, phone or her possession. She literally grabbed it out of her child's, like, reach where her child was using it, and threw it at me, and then picked it up and threw it again after the girls were crying and crying more, like, and they started crying when she threw it too. And the second time she threw it, it fucking hit the lady that was in between us. I like dodged out of the way too, so it just skimmed past me. Bounced off her shoulder and went past me. And I was like, wow. I was like, you're so stupid. Like, at that point, I was just like, all right, just call the cops, just stop. Like, I was just calming my anger, like, from wanting to, you know, jump on her. You know, it was very strongly there still. And I called the cops, started telling them everything. She called the cops too, told them that I punched her. And when the cops got there, only one cop came to me and got my story, and I think he was like the lower level cop, because I don't even think he told them what my story was. The other cops just took her word for everything and didn't even give me the opportunity to press charges on her for throwing the tablet and attacking me, because she attacked me after I had stopped already. I wasn't even assaulting her anymore. I just punched her the once, and that's it. Like, I didn't touch her anymore. It was just that one time in that fit of rage when I lost my temper, and then I saw the kids and I snapped out of it. And I was like, the kids are just getting traumatized by this. Like, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. And that's what I just kept doing. And then the little girl, she even, after all of that, because I took the tablet and I was like, I'm going to keep this and give it to the cops when they get here. It's proof that you were assaulting me. And I did. I gave it to the cop that I told my story, but he just gave it back to them. He didn't even, like, I don't even think they wrote in the report that she threw it at me. But it's on camera, so I don't care what they wrote in the report. But, so, yeah, they just told me, because they had, that one cop that interviewed me was from, like, I was already in between Target and Chick-fil-A, and he interviewed me far away and told me, oh, let's go over there, like, just to get the story and see what's going on. Can you get in the back and we'll go over there? And I like if he's just giving me a ride. But then when we get there, he doesn't open the door for me. He keeps me in there. So I was like, man, these motherfuckers are already planning on fucking arresting me just because I hit her. Like, I punched her when she fucking deserved it for fucking hitting her kid just to spite me. No, I don't care. Like, she fucking deserved worse than that. She deserved a fucking beatdown. Like, a beatdown for how she was acting with her kid. She deserved to get her ass beat. And I don't know if I'm glad that I did or didn't, because I don't know if that would up my charges or not just yet. And the most important thing to me is staying, you know, in my daughter's everyday life, being there every day, every night to see her, know that she's okay, and just being there. And it sucked. That was my first night away that I ever spent from her, and it fucking sucked. Like, I've never ever spent a night away from her, and it was hard. So that's my thought process now. Is like, well, do I regret not hitting her more, or am I glad I didn't? I don't know, because I don't know what the charges would have been like if I would have, you know, actually beat her down. But anyway, so that's my story, and that's how it relates into the fuckery of now, and just how there's injustice everywhere, and cops are stupid as fuck. Inside the jail is a whole nother account, a whole nother story of how fucked up everything is, the system in there. Oh my god, it's fucking horrible.
It is.
It's fucking horrible.
Where is it, babe?